All right, parents, providers, welcome. This is our assessment video. I want to take a chance to walk you through an entire assessment of what I put our hipsters through and just the process and what each exercise means and just how it's calculated, all right? So first, we're going to go ahead and jump to our height and our weight, and then we'll go through our BMI and then go through all that stuff. So come with us, join us on this journey, our assessment journey, all right? Let's go. All right, so this is where we take our height. All right, so obviously we have our tape here. They get measured for their height, and at the very, very bottom of this door is, of course, 1 inch. All right, so the 1 inch is from the bottom to the actual bottom of the door, so it's completely accurate, and that's where we get their height from. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, if you look down to your right, bottom right, we have our body analyzer scale. All right, and this is where we get their BMI, fat mass, muscle mass, from. And so I'm going to have Miss Olivia demonstrate and then I'll explain kind of what we do from there, all right? So Miss Olivia, can you go ahead and step on? This is when we get her weight, all right? The weight we'll go ahead and calculate, and we will, of course, write that down, and then once it starts flashing up and down, it lets us know that it's completely done, and then your hipster will step off. All right, and then we'll go ahead and grab, we'll do the body analyzer part, okay? And again, this is for our BMI, fat mass, and muscle mass, okay? So let's go ahead and grab the handles, please, and we're gonna step back on, all right? Now, they're gonna hold their hands up a little bit higher, right there, perfect, all right? So BMI, okay? BMI, body mass index, is just a way to measure if there's fatness in the body. It's not a say-all, be-all, all right? It's basically just your weight and your height square inches. So how much do you weigh per square inches? And that's how you determine your BMI. Fat mass percentage is how much fat mass you have in your body. Obviously, our muscles are made up, our body is made up of muscles, bones, and fat, all right? Now your fat mass, your muscle mass is how much of your body, your weight, is muscle, all right? So that's the percentage you'll see on your assessment sheet, okay? So you put those together, whatever's left over is typically what your bone density and what they weigh, all right? So those are the numbers you'll get from there, all right? And that's just the beginning part of our assessment. Now let's go to the little bit more physical part. Good job, Olivia. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about our gait, all right? Gait, another word, the definition of gait is just how you walk, okay? And so how we determine that is Miss Olivia is gonna show you, we're gonna go heel to toe. No separation in between the heel and the toe, all right? And we're gonna get a front view and a side view. Okay, so we take 10 steps and they get a plus minus out of 10. All right, so that's what you'll see. You'll see -3 plus 7, but it'll always equal 10. All right, Miss Olivia, can you go ahead and show us, please?
Sure. Ooh, it is hard.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay, so any instabilities in their walking or their gait lets us know that, okay, hey, we may have some balance issues that we need to work on, okay? So if you're unable, kind of like, whoa, and you step off, that is what we call a negative step, okay? But we don't want any negative steps, we want plus 10s, all right? So that is what our gait test or our gait assessment is, all right? Okay. So now I'm gonna give you guys the side view. Now it was really important that we stay on that line. That's why we have it, all right? And also it gives us a little bit of insight into the foot direction, all right? So if we have an individual who their foot kind of goes out like this when they walk, well, that lets us know that we can start working into their exercise prescription exercises for the hip flexors and the hips, okay? Because your foot starts to turn out when these muscles are not strong, and this hip over here is taking up all the pressure, okay? So we got to alleviate that. So those are the kind of things that we kind of learn from your gait walk, all right? Let's go ahead and continue to our stork balance assessment. All right, so stork balance assessment. Okay, this is our balance test. All right, so the whole point of this is to be able to see how long you can really balance on your toes. Now the abbreviated version, which is kind of like tree pose. Okay, so you're here, but we want to get our hipsters comfortable and build the know-how and the ability to be able to come up on our toes. Okay, so Miss Olivia is going to just show you what most of our hipsters are able to do in the stork balance test. Again, this gives us insight into balance from left to right side of the body. Okay, so go ahead. That is what that's the version. All right, you see how the foot is not completely on the knee, because we don't want, just in case something happens, we don't want that knee to go out, tear an ACL, anything like that. All right, and she's just balancing. Okay, we take however long they can hold that. That is the amount of seconds for that particular leg. So left, right, that's what we do. Okay, now the original stork balance again is on your toes. Okay, so now it's a little bit harder. Okay, so you have to have a little bit more control over your body. Okay, so can we go ahead and show them now come up on those toes? Good, perfect. A little bit harder, right? Okay, so can you do me a favor and show it from the side for me? All right, so you're up on your toes as long as you can. All right, so that's where you will see, if you do see a huge indifference in those two numbers, that's probably why. So if you see 45 seconds on one leg and then 3 on the other, then that's probably why. Okay, or there's just a really big inconsistencies in the left side or the right side of the body, which of course we try to let you guys know. All right, okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next test, is our flexibility test. All right, flexibility test. Okay, here we are at our flexibility assessment. Okay, this is just a slide, and on the slide there is a ruler, and that lets us know. I'm actually gonna pick this up so you guys can see. There is numbers. If you guys let me focus. All right, you can see that. Okay, there are numbers there, and that lets us know. Okay, that lets us know how many inches they can go as far as the flexibility in their hamstrings. This is a hamstring assessment. Okay, the flexibility in their hamstrings. So what Miss Olivia is going to do, she's going to put her feet on the box perfect. Now there's 2 modifications to this. You can put your feet straight, or some individuals just don't have the flexibility to be able to put their legs straight, which is completely fine. All right, but the moment that in either case, the moment when your knees come up, that's when we stop. Okay, all right, so Miss Olivia is going to show you the version that a lot of our hipsters do, and then we'll go with the other one. Okay, all right, we do hand over hand, and all they do is guide, not push, guide the slide. All right, let's see when Miss Olivia's knees come up. Right there, perfect. All right, you see a little movement in the knees. All right, so Olivia, what does that read?
10.
Perfect. So we write down 10. All right. So that would be the flexibility that's in her hamstrings. Okay. Now, of course, this is give us a better look at what your hamstring flexibility looks like when your legs are straight, of course. So let's see what that number is now. Hand over hand, and we're guiding, not pushing. All right. Perfect. What is it now?
6.
6. All right. So again, that lets us know 6. We probably need to do a little bit more to get her to 6.5 or 7. So we need to work on flexibility and stretching into their workout prescription whenever they come see us. All right. So that is our flexibility assessment. Let's move on. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about our push-up test. Okay. Push-up test. Our assessment is for our chest. All right, so we're testing upper body strength. Okay, so what Miss Olivia is doing, she's gonna put her hands about shoulder width apart, and notice that her elbows are up. Okay, we don't want elbows out like that. All right, or down. Okay, too far. We want them about shoulder width apart, kind of almost in our armpits. Okay, so the first thing you see, her knees are bent. All right, our legs are crossed, and this is the form that we ask all of our hipsters to use that are doing the first variation. First variation is just simply on our stomach. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna leave your hips on the ground, okay? And you're just gonna kind of curve up almost into the cobra pose in yoga. That's it, perfect, just like that. You see how she's not coming all the way to her knees just yet? All right, that is perfect, good. That is our stomach push-ups, okay? So again, just the stomach comes off the ground, our hips stay on the ground, all right? And if they don't have enough strength to be able to come to their knees, this is the variation that we do, all right? The second variation is push-ups all the way to the knees. Now, I really want you guys to focus on her back as well as her legs as well. Okay, when she comes up, you see how everything comes up at the same time. If there's no rolling factor, that is a perfect push-up. Okay, that's what we ask. If we say if it's on their knees, this is what we mean. Okay, so just a slight difference in both of those. Now, our last variation is a full push-up. Okay, that means that everything comes off the ground at the same time, besides your toes and your hands. Okay, that is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. She's squeezing. That's how we determine the upper body strength. Okay, that's the goal we want to get to, is that full push-up. But hey, it's a journey. All right, so you'll see stomach or knees or full. That's what we mean by each of those variations. All right, okay, let's go ahead and keep going to our sit-up or crunch assessment. All right, so again, now we're here with our sit-up or crunch test. All right, so if you see crunches on your hip assessment, they're obviously doing crunches. If you see full sit-ups or full, that means they're going all the way up, all the way down, okay? So what we're looking for is just the crunch, the shoulder blades come off the ground, all right, high as you can, and you're looking for that almost shaking phase, all right? That's the only way it counts, okay? We keep going for a minute, all right? Sit-ups, keep going for a minute, as many as you can, all right? So can you show me just a crunch one more time, Miss Olivia? Perfect, just like that, all right? That's the first variation. The next variation, of course, the graduated version of a crunch is a sit-up, okay? Now, it's a little bit different. So we actually hold their feet, okay? We don't want those feet to move, all right? So, still the same position, arms crossed like a mummy, and Miss Olivia's gonna sit all the way up and then all the way back, all right? Again, a minute as many as you can, all right? Crunches or sit-ups, you're getting in as many as you can for that minute, all right? Perfect, good job. So this is how we determine the core strength, all right, of our hipsters, all right? Because we need our core for everything, to sit, to laugh, to breathe, all right? So this is when we determine, obviously, you can only do 2 crunches, that's completely okay. Well, let's start adding a little bit more core into our regimen, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our wall sit. For our final assessment, we do wall sits, all right? So this is obviously testing our lower body strength, okay? So obviously some of our hipsters can and can't do this assessment, which is okay. It's completely okay. We do a different variation of just simply standing. Okay, simply standing, but we'll get into that in just a second, okay? So we're gonna go through version number 1, where it's a slight bend in the knees, okay? This is kind of where we start. That's perfect, just like that. That's what we start off at, okay? That's variation 1, all right? And you'll see this is mainly for the quads, all right? We did flexibility test for our hamstrings, but now we're getting the quads in there, testing that strength, okay? Flexibility here normally equals strength here, okay? Really weak here equals tight back, all right, potentially some forward lean in our hips, all right, things like that. So let's go ahead and keep going, okay? So again, this is for a minute, as long as they can. Version number 2, which is the normal version, all right? We're about 90 degrees. If you guys can see, her feet are about shoulder width apart, not too much space in between. You can see the, come on this side, the angle, okay, all right? Angle, we want about a 90-degree angle, okay, all right, which is really tough, okay? We're holding this for an entire minute. So what I normally say is I'll say, drop just a little bit, perfect, all right? Makes it a little harder, okay? So even if they only get, I'm sorry, this is not for a minute, I apologize. This is for as long as you can hold it, my apologies. So again, it's tough, but this is a type of assessment that really, really tests not just, again, our quads, but our hamstrings as well, all right? So this is really, really good assessment to just determine, hey, what do we need to do to be able to make those legs a little bit stronger, just so we can get around a little bit more, so we can walk up those stairs, those things like that, and increases the quality of life, especially due to pain in the legs and the back and things like that. So that is it for our assessments. I hope that this was informative and helped somebody out as far as what we put your hipster through. If you guys have any questions, please let us know at the email below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, all right? Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Peace, love, everything else. Bye.